For Poland Daily News, I'm Phil Goss. Marian Banaś, head of Poland's Supreme Audit Office, held a press conference during which he presented the conclusion of his agency's investigation into last year's postponed presidential election. The Supreme Audit Office is of the opinion that the Prime Minister had no right to order state institutions to start costly preparations, including printing millions of postal ballots, for an election that was to be done remotely only as the coronavirus pandemic was picking up pace during the spring. The Supreme Audit Office recommends the prosecutor's office to investigate some of the authorities involved. The Supreme Audit Office has prepared a report and today directed it to the prosecutor's office regarding the suspicion of crimes having been committed by the management boards of some state-controlled companies, including the Polish Post Office. We have analyzed the information sent in by these state-controlled companies in the context of the decision on whether or not to ask the prosecutor's office to start criminal investigations into the acts of the Ministry of State Assets, the Ministry of Interior, and the Prime Minister's Chancellery. I will keep arguing that the measures taken by the government and Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki were legal and constitutional. The president of Poland's Local Government Association has written a letter to the Speaker of the Polish Senate asking him to speed up the process of ratifying the National Reconstruction Plan. All 27 EU member states need to ratify their specific national recovery plans for the EU's coronavirus recovery fund to start flowing. In Poland's case, more than €170 billion to be paid out over the next 7 years is at stake. We have sent a written appeal to all senators and the Speaker of the Senate, calling on them to change their mind and to deal with this issue in an urgent manner and to ratify it. All forms of delay are unnecessary. This delay in the Senate is unnecessary and mindless. This is a decision on whether or not to take on a huge debt, so it can't be done quickly. It has to be done in a smart way. I have said that I won't support ratification, but I didn't say that I would vote against it. Bulgaria's president has appointed Stefan Yanev as interim prime minister during the lead-up to the snap elections that will be held in July. The new Prime Minister has stated that his government's priority will be upholding the rule of law in the European Union's poorest member state. President Rumen Radev appointed Stefan Yanev, a former defense minister, to lead the government until a snap election in July following last month's inconclusive election, resulting in a deadlocked parliament that failed to produce a government. I want to congratulate you for the courage to take responsibility in such a complex situation. I believe in the support of Bulgarian society, which showed that it doesn't want to live in the old way. In a situation like this, the government of the state demands leadership, professionalism, and devotion. That's why my choice fell to the people here and interim Prime Minister Mr. Stefan Yanev. Yanev, who served as Deputy Prime Minister and Defense Chief in an earlier interim government appointed in 2017 and who has held posts in the NATO military alliance, said the government would do its best to ensure fair elections. To become interim Prime Minister is a great honor, but also a great responsibility. I'm a person who doesn't make false promises, but I swear on my whole authority and my life experience that I will work honestly by observing the rule of law and in the interests of society. I will expect the same from the ministers appointed by the President. President Radev supported anti-government protests last year, during which Prime Minister Borisov came under fire for allegedly weakening state institutions for the benefit of local oligarchs and businesses close to his center-right GERB party. The July election is widely expected to produce another splintered parliament that may struggle to produce a government. Colonial Pipeline is restarting the United States' largest fuel pipeline network, but the company also announced that it will take days for operations to get back to normal after a ransomware attack shut the line, leaving millions of Americans scrambling to find fuel as stations in a number of southeastern states have run out of gas. Colonial halted 2.5 million barrels of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel shipments per day last Friday after the most disruptive cyber attack ever on U.S. energy infrastructure. Observers reported fistfights erupting over fuel supplies in North Carolina and other regions as the outage triggered gasoline shortages and panic buying, bringing long lines and high prices at gas stations ahead of the peak summer driving season.
I got here about 15 or 20 minutes ago. Clearly, I guess this ransomware attack on the Colonial Pipeline has made gas impossible to get in Atlanta right now. So, trying to just get some before I run out of gas so I can come to work.
Gas station manager Sherry Thomas said her Chapel Hill-based station had run out of gas on Tuesday and had just received a new delivery of gas on Wednesday afternoon.
We ran out of fuel yesterday at 10:30, 11:30. We haven't had any fuel all night. We just now got a delivery. We got 4,000 gallons, and it'll be gone in about an hour.
Nearly 60% of gas stations in Metro Atlanta were without gasoline. Tracking from Gas Buddy said nearly 60% of gas stations in Metro Atlanta were without gasoline, tracking firm Gas Buddy said. Its survey showed 65% of stations in North Carolina and 43% in Georgia and South Carolina without fuel. The FBI has accused a shadowy criminal gang called Darkside of the ransomware attack. The group, believed to be based in Russia or Eastern Europe, has so far not taken credit. Some security experts say that it will have to be investigated whether the assault could have been a veiled attack of hybrid warfare with its origins coming from the Kremlin. For Poland Daily News, I'm Phil Goss. Good night.